I'd like to welcome to the studio Nancy Page. Good morning, Nancy.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Early bird, are you? Or?
No.
Sorry. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
And you are the co-founder and the director of Page School of Electrical Technology.
That's correct.
All right, well, we got to start. And how did you get involved in this? Are you a teacher?
I am not, but my husband is. He's
Okay.
been teaching electrical for over 21 years at a trade school in Massachusetts. And we decided that there was a gaping hole for the post-secondary market. So we took the combination of my business acumen and his electrical and teaching skills, put them together, and we formed our school for the post-secondary
And how
market.
long have you been there?
We've been there for, we're edging towards 2 years now,
Okay.
so we're a fairly new school.
All right. Well, I'm always, anytime that I meet somebody who becomes very proficient at their skill, who also possesses the skill to teach, it's just a wonderful addition to humanism in our country. There aren't a lot of schools like this right here, and you get a very little in your VOTEC at your high schools, And I think I read an article probably 4 or 5 months ago from New York from Mr. Bloomberg, who had said that, hey, listen, you know what? You want to know what jobs to get? These types of jobs, plumbing, electrical, HVAC, auto mechanics. This is what makes the world go round, and it's a job that you'll always be employed. But we don't have enough qualified people to do it.
That's very true. As a matter of fact, we're experiencing a point in time where the average age of a licensed electrician is about 55 years old.
Oh, that's pretty scary.
Yeah, so the dilemma is who's going to replace all these licensed electricians once they retire.
Right,
Which
exactly.
is going to be happening within the next 5 to 10 years.
Now, you're the one who's the expert in this field. The kids today, which is what you're taking out of high school to come on in, right? Well, first, I got so many things to ask you. Can a high school kid, go to your school and also go to school and get credit? I mean, it's something that they were trying to work on in our state when Fred Bramante was the director of the schools here. I don't know if they do that in Mass.
Unfortunately, no. Per the Commonwealth of Massachusetts regulations, we can only be post-secondary, so they have to be
ridiculous.
18 and have either a high school diploma or a GED
Okay.
equivalent.
All right. That's. Anyway, when you are getting the people that are coming in, are you seeing more youth, or are we getting people in their 30s coming to your school?
We're getting people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s.
We would, when we were growing up, this is something that would actually be a choice when we were kids. When you were just getting out of school at 18, you want to go to you want to go on, or by that point in time, our father had probably, led us to somebody who was in this business that would take us under their wing, and there was I forgot the word that you used.
Apprenticeship.
That you'd work with somebody for a few years before you got it. So
Yeah. Well, unfortunately today everybody thinks that the way to go is to a 4-year or more college program, and so that's what everybody's doing. And the problem with that is that there are a lot of people coming out of these programs with massive student debt and the inability to find jobs. And what's lacking are the skilled tradespeople. So there's so many job openings and so many career opportunities for that particular line of work, but for whatever reason, the mind frame is I have to go to college. So, but if you choose,
it's almost as if going to a trade like this is a bad thing to do.
Exactly.
I don't know where they got that stigma from.
Yeah, I don't.
You know how many people that are in this business right now are in Aruba right now?
Exactly.
Okay, and they have families and they've raised families. Are you kidding me? I don't know who started that thing, but that's.
It's a definite career path. It's a good way to build a career for yourself that you can support yourself and your families for the rest of your lives.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt about it. And to be proud of it as well.
Exactly.
I have a gentleman that I speak to all the time who's in cooling and heating, and Tony Joyce. This guy is, first of all, an amazing human. He's wonderful with people. But for the many years, there are so many places in Nashua that they put systems in that 25 years later you can drive by a place. Go, yeah, I put that in there.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I mean, this is a really a good trade. That's what I wanted to have you on here. So we want to encourage people. They focus only on electrical education. You're going to get trained. You'll get ready to work. I think one of the things that we would love to ask if one who graduates is their job placement. Is there? I mean, how do you guys go about that?
We have a 99.5% job placement rate.
That's unbelievable.
So, yeah, out of all the people that have completed our basic electrical program, there is one that has not been placed yet. And that's because he's a 55-year-old gentleman, and so he's looking for something that he can do, probably electrical maintenance indoors. So it's a little bit tough for us to find somebody to place
when
with.
they get out of the school at the Page School of Electronics, do they still have to go an apprenticeship, or are they going to get a license?
Yes, no, they have to do the apprenticeship. So it's a process. So what we do is within a 9-week period or 180 hours, we give them all the basic skills they need. They learn how to do pipe bending, wiring diagrams. They learn how to do all the toggle switches. They learn how to. We basically have them set up with a miniature house, and they wire a whole complete house.
Sure.
We supply them with all their electrician's tools so that when they're ready to go out and get their job, they come prepared. And most electrical contractors will not hire you unless you come with a set of tools.
And they're probably good tools.
And yes, they are.
Yeah.
They're top of the line electrician's tools. And we also send them out with their 10-hour OSHA construction safety card, which is another.
You need to have that.
Yeah, you absolutely need to have that.
How many teachers do you have there, instructors?
We have 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is it a revolving program or?
It is.
I love it.
Yes.
Love it.
So we have every 4 to 6 weeks we're starting up a new cycle.
But somebody can come in week 3.
What happens is they have to start at the beginning,
right?
But we'll run a class like March 30th. We'll start another program April 20th. We'll start another one in May.
Because some of these things you can come in on week 4, and you'll loop yourself around, and you'll end up getting week 1, 2, 3 as your loop comes around, and keep looping like that. There are courses like that I do know about.
Yeah, there are. Yeah.
I think this is great. Let's talk about tuition and how does that work?
Well, the tuition is for the entire program is a little less than $5,000. That includes all the supplies that you use, and being a hands-on school, we go through a lot of supplies.
And because
students.
the state recognizes you, I don't know what the proper word would be. Can you also offer financing to the kids through education program or?
We cannot. We're not qualified to do that at this point because we are a small school. Mm-hmm. We do a lot of work with.
You guys need to move to New Hampshire.
Yeah, I know.
You need to put a school in New Hampshire. Those rules down there are ridiculous.
Yeah, we've been thinking about.
That's crazy.
We've been doing a lot of work with the.
If you're an accredited
centers.
school by the state, then you therefore should be able to offer. I'm forgetting the word today. I'm having a problem with it.
Financial aid?
Exactly.
Yeah,
no doubt about it.
Yeah,
they do it for bartender school.
Yeah, I know.
All right. I mean, come on.
Yeah. No.
Call the senator down there. The new mayor seems to be pretty jovial.
Yes, he
No,
does.
I mean,
he does, yeah.
All right. Well, maybe that's something you guys can work on in the future.
It is. It is something that we're always looking at because we know that that's a big chunk of money to come up with.
It is. It surely is.
Yeah.
Now, do they pay that up front, or can they pay it over the week's time of the course, or what?
Well, that's what we do. We set up payment plans so that they can pay it over the length of the course. We're also looking at potentially breaking up that one course into maybe 3 courses, so they can take 1/3 of it, pay for 1/3 of the tuition, and when they haven't, saved up.
Massachusetts state trade approved, unemployment approved, Section 30 approved, but yet we can't give state financing. That's ridiculous.
Well, if they are Section 30 approved, if they go through a Section 30 approval, they will get 100% of it paid by the state.
Yeah.
Well,
if they
go through the career centers, they will get 100% of it paid by the state.
What about unemployment?
Unemployment.
But that's unbelievable.
But if they just come off the street
sure.
and say, I want to go to your program.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
All right, but it would only make things great, make things much greater than they are, all right?
Right.
And that's all. That's wonderful that does happen, all right? But there are other individuals that don't have to go through those types of things and should surely be granted financial aid, student financial aid.
Yeah,
all right?
I agree.
I mean, would you rather take a student financial aid on $5,000 or $40,000 a year for college for the next 4 years?
Well, that's just it. And, once you complete the program and you get placed, that's when you start your electrical apprenticeship. And that's a minimum of a 4-year program.
Yeah.
So it's like going to college, but
But you're getting paid.
You're getting paid.
Yeah,
that's the big
sure.
difference. So,
and they don't make cheap money, these electricians.
No, they don't. They don't.
It's a skill. It surely is a skill. Safety, the whole nine. Houses, and there's tons of wiring going on all the time.
Yeah.
Needs to be there and be good for 50 years, man. So I mean, they have to know what they're doing here. I think it's a great idea. Hats off to you and your husband, especially the desire of your husband to want to teach kids, man. That's amazing. But that's not just kids. I call them kids. Anybody under 50 is a kid to me anyway.
No. And he's phenomenal. Everybody that goes through his programs praise him to the hilt because he has a unique teaching style where he really keeps everybody engaged. Because it's not just up there lecturing, putting people to sleep.
No, of course not. You can't.
He tells stories. He keeps them engaged.
Yeah.
He keeps them, involved, and I guess his second career would have been a comedian. So.
Oh, nice. You got to have those.
Yeah.
Pageschool.org. That is the website, PAGESCHOOL.org, where you can find out anything you need to find out about them. They're located in Tingsboro?
We're in Tingsboro.
Whereabouts?
Yeah. We're right off of exit 34.
Okay.
You take the exit, and we're right there.
Is that the second exit in Mass from Route 3?
It is.
Okay,
it is. So it's not the exit you would take to go to like the vocational high school. It's the next one.
Okay. Masted licensed teachers. So these guys and any gals teaching?
We do not. We do have gals going through our program, though.
Of course. Yeah. Why not? Anybody can do it today.
Yeah.
I think one of the fun things about these types of schools is a lot of hands-on stuff. Your mind's constantly busy with a thing. Who do you think would be interested in going to this, though? I mean, you have to first get rid of the whole aura of the fact that this is not good. It's a bad, it's like the last step on earth is to go through an electronics course, which I don't think should be focused on. This is something you might seriously want to take as your lifelong thing.
Yeah. Well, first of all, electronics and electrical are two completely different beasts. So we're definitely not electronics. We're electrical. Secondly, the person that would be interested would be somebody who likes working with their hands and not the kind of person that wants to go sit behind a desk 8 hours a day. They like to be out there, active, moving around.
Surely something that somebody in their 50s could do. I don't think that that is nowhere near like over the age to do a thing. You couldn't do this type of work into your 70s.
Yeah, you can. And we've had people in their 50s that, were in the printing trade, the circuit business trade. Those jobs don't exist anymore. So now here they are in their 50s, and they don't have any skills that they can put to use.
Yeah, I can understand getting 4 years you become a master licensed technician. Is there steps prior to that, though, right?
Well, it's 4 years to become a journeyman electrician.
Okay.
So they have to, per the state requirements, work 8,000 hours under a licensed electrician. And they have to take an additional 600 classroom hours of electrical code. So they work during the day, and then 6 hours a week in the evenings, they come to us, and they get their 600 hours of schooling over a period of 4 years.
Okay, so let me ask you something. So you go through this course if you're just fresh out and know nothing. Mm-hmm. You've got a phenomenal high rate of staffing. So they come back.
They come back.
Is that included in the initial tuition, or is this a different fee?
This is a different fee. So the whole program,
the course is different.
Exactly. It's completely different. One is a hands-on labs program. The other one is a classroom program. They're working out of the National Electrical Code Book. We use the NCCER curriculum. It's all been approved by the state. So unlike a lot of the high schools where they're just randomly teaching whatever they want, each teacher does something different.
Well, yeah, but this isn't as highly classified as what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
You're preparing. This is your career.
So
you could start this when you're 19, 20 years old, and by the time you're 27, 28, you could maybe even open up your own business.
You can. So once you complete the 4 years, you go take your exam, and if you pass with a 70 or above, you get your journeyman's license. A year later, you can become a master electrician. You have to have a journeyman's license in good standing for 1 year, take an additional 150 hours of classroom
time. Do you
time.
teach that too?
We do.
Wow.
So you take 150 hours of additional classroom time. You go for your master's exam. You get your master's license. You can open up your own business. You can hire 40 electricians.
All right, so you guys have been there for 2 years. Anybody coming back to do those yet? Have you had gone through that whole cycle yet?
Not yet. As a matter of fact, we're not even running all 4 levels of journeymans yet because we're starting out with level 1 because those are the ones that come in who are just entering into the trade. And then all of the kids that take the electrical program through the trade schools, they get credited with 300 hours, so half of the requirement for their classroom hours. So they come into us at level 3. So this next September, they're all going to be rolling over.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing levels 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Wow.
Once our level 4s graduate, then we're going to be rolling out the master's program.
You've got 2 locations right there in Tyngsboro.
Yeah, they're both in the same area.
Okay.
But one is the lab shop, and the other is the classroom area. So.
All right. Well, look, you go through the class, and right from there, you start working on becoming a licensed electrician, start your required 8,000 work clock hours, and simultaneously attend the 600-hour class required for journeyman, and you're on your way. This electrical industry is, of course, every time they build a house, it needs to be wired. It's still growing.
And let me say this also. You do not have to complete the 9-week course to start your job. We've had several students that have been going through our program. We tell them, start looking for a job right away. They're 3-4 weeks into the program. They're already working.
Sure.
They're working.
That just goes to show you how many people are looking for good electricians.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's great, and I'm glad to have you come on in. There's so many people out there that are capable. Maybe not have the desire. That's the other thing. You got to have a little bit of a desire for this. And I'm sure that there are guys and gals that have said, what else am I going to do, and go through it. And then they end up falling in love with the whole thing 3 weeks into the course. But, shouldn't be looked at as the last course thing. Could be looked at as the first thing you want to try to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
You'll be employed forever.
You will. Yeah. And, the opportunities are endless. I mean, you can go into commercial, residential, industrial. You can teach. You can eventually become a wiring inspector. There's so many different branches or avenues you can go into: fire alarm, safety, security. It's really a wide open field.
www.pageschool.org. If you go through the catalog over there, you can get the 2015 enrollment form. It's on a PDF file. You get the 2015 catalog. You can actually see the Department of Labor statistics for electricians, statistics for security, fire alarm installers, all sorts of information's over there. So if you yourself are looking for a new, and this is the word that it may be overused, but it's a career. If you're looking for a career, you've got some programs starting up. Let's see here. Looks like you've got some coming up in April, from what I see on here.
April 20th would be the next one we'd be signing people up for.
Next one's April 20th, right. So you're going through January 26th to February and October. So it's 100 and how many hours? 180?
180, yep.
And then is that a full-time during the day, 5 hours a day, what?
It's 20 hours a week, but it's evenings. So that way if people are working and they want to transition out of whatever they're doing into the electrical program.
Oh, that seems so easy.
Yeah, that's what we try to do.
How about attendance? I mean, you've got to, what happened? How's it work with attendance?
We've had no issue with attendance. Everybody there, because they are paying that tuition, they're there to learn. So they show up for every single class.
Yeah. Well, that you can also attribute to the teachers.
Yes.
Okay, honest to goodness. Yeah. They can, it almost becomes like a small family, it's intimate 4 hours a day, every day. You get to know these people, they get to know you, and then they come in every day and this is to the teachers. You can't do that with a robot.
We have phenomenal teachers, and we also have a very small student-teacher ratio. We try not to have more than 8 students in a class.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, so that they get.
So you have how many little structured houses do you have in your classroom?
Well, we have one structured house because we break them up into groups, so we have them working on panel jobs all along the perimeter of the unit. So
I hope the graduating class has to tear everything down for the next class. I mean, is that
They
part
do.
of? All
They
right,
do.
good.
And part of what they do at the end of every class is they clean up, because I'll tell you, when they're out on the job site, that's what their employers
Oh,
want them to do.
absolutely. Nothing
Clean
worse
up.
than having somebody come by and leaving this, that, the other thing all over the place. I mean, it's a pleasure to speak to you. I like your
thank you.
passion. You like what you're doing as well. You believe in it. I think it's a great career choice. Hands-on education, labs, and learn the profession from master electricians, so people can get on with a new career in their life. And I can tell you, you won't be disappointed. Yeah, you know, these kids and adults today that come on into these classes need to realize that just because your phone's fast and your computer's fast, these things take time. They're not going to change the amount of hours it takes to get a master's license or a journeyman's. You have to go through the steps like the people before you did. It's not going to happen with a snap of a finger or an app. You know?
No, that's true, and it's really within the individual themselves. The amount of drive that they have determines how quickly they get to where they want to be. A lot of people will complete their journeyman's and immediately go take their master's because everything's fresh. You know, you wait 10 years and say, all right,
Oh boy.
yeah, I want to now take my master's. You have to sort of go back and refresh
Yeah,
everything
no,
you learned in the journeyman's program. You know, so we always try to encourage, as soon as you complete your journeyman's, start working on your master's.
It's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much for coming in here this morning.
Thank you for
I
having me.
know it's a
I
long day
appreciate
for
it.
you. All right, we're going to take a break, come back in just a little bit here with the second part of our business profile. One more time, the website's www.pageschool.org. If you would like to start a new career, this may be the place for you. I'll take a quick break. I'm George. I'd like to welcome to the studio Nancy Page. Good morning, Nancy.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Early bird, are you? Or?
No,
Sorry. I'm sorry about that.
that's okay.
And you are the co-founder and the director of Page School of Electrical Technology.
That's correct.
All right, well, we got to start. And how did you get involved in this? Are you a teacher?
I am not, but my husband is. He's
Okay.
been teaching electrical for over 21 years at a trade school in Massachusetts. And we decided that there was a gaping hole for the post-secondary market. So we took the combination of my business acumen and his electrical and teaching skills, put them together, and we formed our school for the post-secondary
And how
market.
long have you been there?
We've been there we're edging towards 2 years now,
Okay.
so we're a fairly new school.
All right. Well, I'm always, anytime that I meet somebody who becomes very proficient at their skill, who also